For almost 5 decades, I have been a liberal Democrat. Okay. I had raised my children to be Democrats and believe in the Democratic Party, all of that. And it took for this last election for me to have to sit down and do some real research and find out, like, who am I truly going to vote for and why? And it wasn't until a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, that I realized they've been lying to us this whole time. We've been getting screwed this whole time. And the devastation that I felt, I cannot put into words. It was as if I was in a marriage with someone for 30 plus years. And I come to find out that they don't even love me. They got a whole new family of immigrants that they care about more. And they're only using me for my money. I am their slave. And if I choose to leave them and go over here to these red folks, then they're going to try to make my life a living hell. Being a Democrat is like being in a very toxic and abusive relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And I just pray that more and more of my people get out of that toxic and abusive relationship and conform to the true conservative values that you were raised with. We were raised with these values. Man and woman should be married. You don't just go out here and keep on getting pregnant by everybody just because you can kill them. Your body is sacred. You love and you worship God. And you respect the house of the Lord. We all know that. All of these things, family first. Family, God, faith, all that's first. All of these things were taught to us as we were being raised, in regards to who raised us or how we were being raised. This is what has been bred into us. So for the Democratic Party to try to make us accept all this other nonsense.
Ain't no try about it. They've done it.
Like kids being able to transition and taking the Bible out of the prayer out of schools and all of this nonsense. You got to take the jab if you want to work. No, we were not raised like that. That is not part of who we are. If we truly want to return to who we are, you got to get over there with them conservatives, because that's where it's at. That's who we truly are. And they love us over there.
Shout out to this young lady for, coming to this conclusion, having this epiphany, and getting a full understanding as to who's truly for you and who's actually working against you and has been working against you for quite some time. I'm glad to see it. I know there's been a lot of men, there's been a lot of melanated men out there that, have put out and produced a lot of these videos and just letting it be known. I'm done with the Democratic plantation. I'm coming up off of it. I'm done. And they also understand the vitriol that will come, because that Democrat Party, man, that plantation, it's a cult. And anybody that starts to waver, starts to show any type of, dissension, or, starts to showcase their ability to think freely, they will shame you. Shame you. They will call you names. They will talk bad about you. You'll get called everything under the sun. Lord knows. I know. But you got to stand true to your convictions and what you believe in. I've been saying this for quite some time on this channel, that if you truly consider yourself a follower of Christ, it would be very difficult, almost impossible, to be someone that truly believes and follows the Democrats' liberal, Marxist, communist agenda. Everything about these people are wicked, and their agenda is antithetical to the word of God. So it's really, really difficult for those that call themselves followers of Christ to be a part of that agenda. I'm glad that people are starting to wake up and realize that they've been played. I'm glad. Hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel. So much more to get into.
I'm a vote for Trump. We're terrible, horrible. We hate ourselves. We hate our mama. We hate our grandma. Vote for Trump. What I don't understand is how then y'all could ride for Margaret Sanger and Planned Parenthood, who is a white supremacist. This lady created Planned Parenthood, and the first Planned Parenthood office was in Brownsville, Brooklyn, where I'm from, East New York. Brownsville, Brooklyn, in the hood, to kill black babies and Check this out. The first Margaret Sanger Award, the one that Hillary Clinton had said, oh, I like the Margaret Sanger Award. She's great. She's wonderful. The first Margaret Sanger Award went to Martin Luther King. So how does that work?
Sell it. They don't want that.
How does that, look it up? Don't listen.
They ain't gonna dish you for that one. You
I know, because, a coon saying this, so you can't trust it.
Right.
But please,
Then
go
you
look
trying
it
to
up.
make the
And if you want to take it even further, Coretta Scott King actually accepted it for MLK because he didn't want to show up there, because even he knew that was a bridge too far, but they accepted it anyway, and they were pushing this anyway. And
The same lady that black folks stood up for in lockstep against President Trump said that Margaret Sanger is her hero. Yeah, I'm talking about Hillary Clinton. Margaret Sanger also said that, hey, we need to eliminate these quote unquote human weeds. Name of people that's been responsible for their own genocide. We're talking 400,000 babies gone, deleted annually. 20 million babies deleted over the span of, 40 or 50 years. This is insanity. This is a death cult. You got to call it what it is. This is a death cult. And all of these people, I don't care how they try to, clean up the language, a woman's right to choose and quote unquote reproductive rights and all this. Nah, call it what it is. Call it what it is. And I need people to see it. And I need people to recognize it and then call it out. Shout out to that brother, man.
It's really crazy to me when people don't know basic historical facts.
It's by design.
Supporting the party of the hooded people. I'm just they were founded by the Democratic Party, right?
Yep.
You do know the Republican Party was established as an anti-slavery party.
Yep.
By black men and abolitionists.
Considered the abolitionist party.
You do know that the Republican Party gave us every single civil rights amendment and legislature that we have today, right?
Go look it up. They voted for, when I say they, I'm talking about Republicans, I'm talking about conservatives. They voted for every civil rights bill that has ever been passed at an 80% clip or higher. If you go and look at the voter rolls, Democrats were actually anti-civil rights. Go look it up.
You do know that even up to 1964, the Republicans are responsible for breaking the filibuster that the Democrats initiated to block the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Facts.
No? Okay. You do realize there is no party switch. Go look at the votes. So you do know that black people traditionally have always been Republican. It's a party that was founded by black men.
Yeah.
They're responsible for legislation through Reconstruction.
Frederick Douglass was a Republican. Booker T. Washington, right here over my shoulder, Republican.
And again, for people that are going to say, oh, but the party switch, again, 1964, the Republicans broke the filibuster to give us the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Yeah. So when did they switch? When? No one can ever tell you that. They always tell you that the party switched, but they can never tell you when.
The hooded people were Democrats. Joe Biden was best friends with Robert Byrd, a known man who used to wear the white hood.
Yeah. And he performed his eulogy.
I don't know why we have this revisionist history. I even saw a page where there were a lot of, it was predominantly Black Americans having a chat, and they were all like, yeah, we're conservative. We've always been conservative. I'm like, okay, now you're getting somewhere. Our grandparents, our parents, all conservative. And when I say conservative, I mean just like traditional values, predominantly Christian values, like family values, family, God, country. Preserving traditional values, okay? Traditional Christian values.
Yeah. I grew up in a household that would have been considered a conservative household. If you think about the way my parents ran things, it would have been considered that. Now, I know for sure they didn't vote in that manner. And there's a reason behind it, but I'm going to continue to let this woman cook.
Is what conservatism is based on. Black Americans, they were all in the comments agreeing agreeing, like, yeah, we are conservative, but they would say, but we're not Republican. And someone even said, actually, if it weren't for the fact that Republicans are racist, we would be voting Republican. Which is wild, because I've seen people who've campaigned for Republicans and they've said out loud, the reason why Republicans don't bother even going to campaign in predominantly black neighborhoods or areas or cities is because they don't believe that they can win, because the narrative for so long has been, the smear campaign from the Democrats has been, oh, well, they're all racist, so don't even listen to them.
Yep,
and so when Republicans have tried to put money into campaigning with black Americans and saying, hey, here's what we actually have some valuable things that we have to offer your community and all Americans, they've experienced black Americans running them out of there like, we don't want to hear anything you have to say. And so they just don't think it's a good return on investment, which is the reason why they don't even bother trying to campaign in our neighborhoods at all. This is what Ice Cube was talking about when he said, listen to both parties like every other group does and see what they have to offer. Yeah. And then you decide. But to just listen to the Democrats, who's the opposition, tell you that these people are racist. I mean, you're listening to the op tell you what the other party is about. Ice Cube was like, no, we need to go listen and see what they have to say. And you know what? They tried to cancel him.
Yep. Because that's what they do. Again, they're a cult, somewhat of a death cult, but they're definitely a cult. They do not want you to have any inkling of free thinking. They're not interested in that.
Every other group, they vote however they want. It's only black Americans where it's like, you must stay over here. Why? They've already admitted it. I'm reading the comments. They're like, yeah, actually, we align more over here with Republicans, but they're racist, so that's why we don't vote for them. Who's going to tell them?
Yeah, who's going to tell them?
Who's going to tell them that this is, you're not switching to Republican? If you did vote Republican, you would just be returning to the party of your ancestors anyway. And no, there was no party switch. I keep saying that.
Facts. She's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. Once you decide that, hey, I'm done with the Democrats, I'm getting off that plantation, and you come on over to this side of things, you will be aligning yourself with the same party, the very party that your ancestors were aligned with. People got to understand, man, that the first black folks that were elected into any office, they all were Republicans. All. People forget that Eisenhower received like 40% of the black vote. Eisenhower did. This was in the late 50s, going into the 60s. I don't think people really understand why at this point black people are supporting the Democrat Party, or have been supporting the Democrat Party for as long as they have. And the only thing that I could come up with, because I've been doing some research trying to get an understanding as to why, and it dates back to Martin Luther King. And during that time frame, he had gotten arrested, and while he was in jail, the people that were a part of the SCLC, I think that's what it is. They reached out to Kennedy. They reached out to Nixon to get the man out of jail. Nixon blew it off. Kennedy made it happen. And from that point on, those folks, those brothers that was in that civil rights movement, they started pushing people towards the Democrat Party, even though they knew the history of the Democrat Party. I mean, people need to understand that the Nazis of Germany, they came over here to study the Southern Democrat Party. And even they said, hey, we're not willing to go that far over in Germany when it comes to dealing with the small hat people. They even said, hey, that's a bridge too far. We ain't willing to do that. But I'm glad that there's brothers and sisters that are starting to wake up, starting to do their due diligence, starting to do their read their own history and get an understanding as to who's your friend, who's your enemy. Now, again, I'm not here on this channel to tell you if you are a Democrat, you need to go Republican. What I am here to tell you is take the time to do the research, do your own due diligence, and get a full understanding of the history of these parties, and then start to look at the candidates currently and start getting an understanding as to what their policies are, and make a decision based off of their policies. Do it make sense for you and your family and the future of your family? We got to stop thinking about the now. We got to start thinking about the future. What kind of country do you want to leave for your children, for your grandchildren, for your great-grandchildren, for your nieces, your nephews, your great-nieces, great-nephews, so forth and so on? What kind of nation do you want to leave for these people? And then you got to say, who is better suited to follow through and make sure that they have a game plan that's going to make this country strong, prosperous, and safe? And vote in that manner. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family or buy your brother a coffee. Go check out the merch link down below. Go get you one of those Pray Don't Worry hoodies. I appreciate you guys. Join us Tuesday and Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for ARP in the morning. Come check us out. If it's your first time, let me know in the chat so we can properly welcome you to the show. Appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. And as always, keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
It is God who arms me with strength. Yeah, I'm battle ready. He trains my hands for battle. My heart stays steady. But thanks be to God, He gives us the victory. Through my Lord Jesus Christ, it can't live in me. I was down to the dirt, red clay on my shoes, old pain in my shirt, oh so bruised. Then the Lord hit my chest, kicked air from my breath, put power in my step.